when you finish your time.
I hope everyone is safe. The one which is grass. Need urgent government intervention on the crisis that is facing the nightlife industry. I explain what it is. Good to go? And women, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I am the company secretary of the Nightlife Industries Association. With me here is Gerald Segawa. He's the national coordinator of Nightlife Industries Association. Nimrod, DJ Nimrod, is a key player in the nightlife industry, and Caesar is our administrator. Countrymen and ladies, we come here and appeal on behalf of members of the Nightlife Industries Association. Since this global pandemic of COVID-19 befell us, there is a group of people that are members of this association who have been left out. You can imagine over 6 months, the waiters, the waitresses, the DJs, the bar owners, the drinks suppliers and manufacturers have not been working. Whereas we can easily categorize them as DJs, bouncers, waiters, and waitresses. When they return home, they are called mommy, they are called daddy. They have an obligation to provide for their family. For 6 months, there is nothing they are doing. There is no social stimulus package that has been put in place for them to survive. We come here to make an appeal to the National Task Force to consider reopening the nightlife industry. Uganda had been famed as the Vegas of Africa because of the effort of these nightlife key players. Alas, it's no more. And I know, just like we have opened other sectors, we can open this nightlife with standard operating procedures. If it means having a mask, you can still have your drink, so be it. These people constitute a big part of our population. Every town, small as it is, has a bar owner, a bar attendant, somehow a landlord that has been put at halt and not. So we make this prayer to the President as we look forward to his speech on Sunday. We make this prayer to the National Task Force as we look forward to listen to you on Sunday on behalf of these key players of the nightlife industry. They need their life back. They need their life back. They need to provide for their family, for their families, for themselves. If it's not possible to open for them, at least let a social stimulus package be given to them. Even for the bar owners, rent is accumulating. Even if they are to be opened now without a social stimulus package, most of them will be just closing. And they make an indirect contribution in form of taxes for sustenance of this country. My prayer is that their plight be looked into. If you can reach decision makers on the National Task Force, or decision makers like the President and his advisors, please make this plea on behalf of all nightlife industry players. So and cry, reach the decision makers that people are dying. People are about to be killed by deaths because they have been locked out and they are still locked out of business.
Very much. Allow me to remove this and to open our sector. We have reached a critical point, struggling to find ways to stay afloat. You can imagine where we are seated. If someone had a stock of 100 cases of different brands of beer and they are now expired, even if you tell him to open tomorrow, it will make no sense. What we are asking is that can we find a solution to get out of this mess? We are on the verge of insolvency. We have reached that point, that imminent financial Magedon, where you cannot imagine, you cannot survive. Mr. President, come to our rescue. Let's carry out a study and find out in Uganda's case, particularly COVID-19, how is it? I mean, can we do a risk assessment and find protocols in place so that we can reopen this sector? This sector had put Uganda to a certain level. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, Uganda was the Las Vegas of Africa. People would jet in from nowhere within minutes to enjoy the nightlife of Uganda. They would just specifically come and enjoy, and tomorrow morning and jet out, and would be earning a lot of, Let me remind you, Mr. President, this sector employs 40% of Ugandans. It generates about 25% of Ugandan revenue in various taxes. It's not as simple. I mean, talk about that waiter in Kabong, in Paya, Tororo, in Nyamayenje, in Rukunjiri, in Wadline, working as a waitress in a small kafunda, earning 5,000 per day. How is he or she surviving? A waitress and a waiter. I'm not talking about actually the bar owners. They can survive. But how? How are they surviving? The waiters, the cleaners? Mr. President, we have been quiet. This time around, we've come up to show the country that enough is enough. There must be actions in place. We can put in place standard operating procedures like other countries have done. For example, we can have temperature checks on entrance. We can have ID scans to track and test in case of anything happens in that particular area. We can enforce our bouncers to patrol people who are in these happening places without masks. We can, we can check in behaviors of our customers, not move from one table to another. These are some of standard operating procedures that can help this sector to survive. Otherwise, I'm seeing doom coming. Let me remind you, Mr. President, that we are worried of security. We are worried of other things, but the insecurity is now here. The people have been working in this sector. If nothing is done, there is a coup d'etat. There is no coup d'etat than this. I can be open, I can be frank. I've been on ground. You go to my area in Mulago, in Wandegeya, Kafunda, all these slums, Mulago, Wandegeya, Chebando. Walk on streets and find out. Mr. President, let me ask. This is a logic question. You left breweries to operate as essential workers. Who consumes their products apart from sanitizers? Are they producing sanitizers alone? And where do they sell the products? Where do they export their products? We need really to do something. We can put things in place like good ventilation systems. Let us, enough is enough. We want our businesses up and running again with safe safety protocols in place. Ladies and gentlemen, the press present, inform the world that the nightlife industry in Uganda sustains the life of Ugandans. Without it, there is doom looming. Thank you.
Here on behalf of the nightlife industry to talk about the situation that is going on and how we need help to move around town, and what happens downtown or even in the arcades or some of these places that have been open is even worse than what happens in our bars. They are shaking hands, they are hugging, they are eating and drinking together, and for us we are actually locked down with nothing to do. You wake up and somebody who works in an arcade has gone to work and you're staying home, and the landlord expects you to pay the same amount of money while you're not working. Like my colleagues said, the waitresses are home, the bouncers are home, the cleaners are home, the supervisors, the club managers, and yet rent is accumulating. We have nothing to do. So we request the president, his scientists, everyone in charge, the Ministry of Health, also come in and consider us as DJs, as people in the nightlife industry. We, like my colleagues said, we can also follow the SOPs. We can have sanitizers at the entrances. We can have tables separated. Cars are allowed to carry 4 people. We can also have 4 people on a table, separated. They can drink from disposables, not glasses, whereby somebody has got to even go home with their disposable if they want to. We can social distance. The DJs are already separated from the crowds. Basically, we need to go back to our workplaces because we are suffering, rent is accumulating, there is literally nothing to do. We request, like my colleague said, if these places cannot be open, then we need to be helped one way or the other. The president should meet us and tell us a way forward, or probably open our businesses or give us jobs in parliament so that we can also start working. Personally, I miss my colleagues, former Vice President Bukenya. We used to drink together. I don't know where he is right now. Captain Mike Mukula, I miss you in the bar. There are so many people that I have met, and now I don't know what is happening to them. They used to tip us. We used to go home happy. But now our workplaces are closed. We have nothing to do. So we call upon the president. You are scientists. I wish I had their contacts so that they can also look into our issue and open up our entertainment places so we can go back to work and clear our debts. We have landlords who are on our cases. We have families, like my colleague said, we go home and we are called daddy. We put the DJ name aside and we are called uncle, daddy, and things like that. So please, Mr. President and all the concerned members, please open up our workplaces, meet us, we discuss on ways on which we can operate. We have them planned out so that we can go back to our workplaces. Thank you. Abasewo ne banyabo bampita DJ Nimrod, tuli mu nightlife industry wano era tukoze olukuŋŋaana luno okutegeeza omukulembeze w'eggwanga ne ba scientists be n'abantu bakola nabo munaffe tukooye okubeera ewaka. Twagala kuddamu kukola, bwe tubanga ebifo byaffe tebisobola kuggulwawo, then omukulembeze atuteerewo embeera etusoboseza okubeerawo mu bulamu, because rent batubanja, families ziri waka, tetulina sente za kameeza, naye ng'ate abantu abalala elsewhere ebifo byabwe bikola, arcades wansi zikola, muzeeyi yeetaaga okgendako downtown n'alaba ekiriyo. Bifo biri very crowded. Ffe ng'abali mu entertainment industry tusobola okuteekawo embeera econtrollinga corona oba econtrollinga akalwadde obutasaasaana. Tusobola okuteekawo sanitizers ku miryango, tusobola okukozesa okunywera ku tables nga tables ziri a distance away from another customer. Tusobola okunywerako mu disposables, not glasses zinaddayo kwozebwa. Disposable oteekamu ekyokunywa kyo n'ogenda nakyo. Tusobola okuteekawo embeera, buli mbeera esoboka ku making sure tuddayo ate nga amateeka tugagoberera. Era nsaba abali mu buyinza, saba abali mu buyinza, tulina bakasitoma baffe naffe betuludde okulabako, tetumanyi kiki kigenda mu maaso. Bali batutiipinganga mu bbaala. Honorable Gilbert Bukenya, honorable former vice president, tukumiisinga n'abalala bangi nnyo. So tubadde tusaba batuggulirewo ebifo byaffe, naffe bwe tuddayo ewaka amanya ga badijje tusooka ne tugaleka wabweru. Ewaka batuyita bataata, anko, kulikayo daddy, naye kati tunsiiba naye ewaka kati talina na ngeri gyankulisaayo. So tubadde tusaba ab'obuyinza bonna, Ministry of Health, naffe mujje mutumiitinge tubabulire embeera yaffe eri etya, tusobola okukola tutya so that ebifo byaffe biggulwawo, then tutandika okukola. Oba si kyekyo batuteerewo embeera okubeezaawo famire zaffe ne ba landlord. Bwe tuba tetusobola kuggulawo, then batumiitinge batuteerewo embeera naffe tubeere mu bulamu obweyagaliza. Otherwise right now ebintu byaffe ebimu tubitunze, tutunze zi TV, tutunze zi radio kubeezaawo famire zaffe. Naye ng'ate twandibadde naffe tusobola okukola ate ne tugoberera amateeka ga Ministry of Health nga tukola. So mu mbeera eyo badde tusaba omukulembeze w'eggwanga n'abantu bo tumiitinge, tuteese, naffe tuddemu tukole ng'abantu abalala. Neyanza.
Bannange bannansi, ekibiina NIA oba Nightlife Industries Association kigatta muli ba DJ, ba bouncers, ba waitress, ba cleaners, ba celebrities, bonna abantu abatera okukyakalira mu bulamu obwo obutandika ku ssaawa nga 11 oba 10 mpaka ku makya. Ekibiina kino kirina abantu bangi okuva mu ggwanga lyonna, era ffe abatudde wano nti tukiikiridde bannaffe abatalina na transport esobola kubaleeta mu kibuga Kampala okujja okwogerako erimmwe okusinziira nti bamaze emyezi 6 nga tebakola. Bukyanga president w'eggwanga lino aggalawo ng'ennaku z'omwezi 18 ogwokusatu tebaddangayo okufuna nakaki na 10. Aba waitresses abali mu byalo kwegamba embeera mbi. So olwaleero NIA oba ekibiina kino ekya NIA kisazeewo ne kigamba kakijje kitegeeza ensi naddala abali mu buyinza, abakulembeze abo abali mu kunoonya akalulu, nti abantu be muli mu kunyoonyaamu akalulu abasinga be muwulira be mugenda mu kuziika eyo tebafa lwa covid, bafa lwa njala, bafa lwa bwavu, bafa ku lw'okuba tebakyayingiza baba banja rent bagibanja, omwana akusaba akagaati ka donut nga tolina na 10 kya kagula, n'odduka ewaka n'ogenda okukola ensobi, okola emirimu egitasobola kukolebwanga egy'obubbi. N'olwekyo ne tugamba bannaye ekiseera kituuse, covid waali ate waali ne bwe tunaba tufunye eddagala agenda kusigalawo nga tukola ki, tujjanjaba. Lwaki abantu bafa nnyo okusinga covid? Lwaleero tulina abantu nga 59 abaakafa covid, naye abafudde enjala, abafudde ku lw'okuba nti balina stress z'amabanja, loans mu bank, ababanjibwa kwegamba ebintu ebyo basukka mu 5. Bukyanga covid yajja, bukyanga tuggalwawo. Netugamba president ne tiimu yo National Covid Task Force mukoze eki? Tusobola okunoonya engeri gye tweteekateeka emirimu gyaffe ne giggulawo, naye bwe kibanga tekikoleddwa mu mbiro, njagala mbakakase tembeera egenda kusajjuka. Tuli ku bunkenke eyo. President entalo ozirwanye, entalo zozirwanye, ate oli Ssaabalwanyi tukumanyi, naye waliwo olutalo lw'olina kati olw'aba bouncer, olw'aba waiters, ba waitress abatakola. Olutalo simanyi bw'ogenda lusinga, tebalina kapulaani konna, bali eyo. Era bw'otambula ku kyalo kati ng'ewaffe eyo Mulago, Katanga, eyo mu Kivule wa mu Mawanda Road yo totambula nakasimu bakatwala kulokuba bamaze nga bakola ki agenda n'akatunda siringi 5 at least afune ekikopo ky'amazzi ekidomola ky'amazzi akigule. N'olwekyo ne tugamba bannange tubasaba tukwatire wamu ne basaantisi baffe tunogere eddagala bizinesi zino nga bwe zisobola okukola ki okuddamu. Ekirala tuteekewo engeri gye tunayambamu bizinesi ezimaze emyezi 6 nga tezikola. Oli yali alina ka credits 10 mu bbaala naye kati ziri expired, amazzi gali expired, soda ali expired, newe omugulawo enkeera talina watandikira, capital tamuyina, rent tamuyina, eno abaana bakola ki? Nkubuulira olutalo lw'amaanyi. President tuyambe, mwebale nnyo bannange.
Nze Francis Alimisi w'ekitongole kye bayita NIA, Nightlife Industries Association, ekigatta abantu abakola ekiro abaleetera eggwanga kusanyuka ekiro, ba DJ, waiter, waitresses, ba kirina, ba bouncer, basebo ne banyabo tuyinza kuba tubatadde mu kategori ezo, naye bwe bagenda ewaka babayita mami, babayita daddy, ate basuubira ng'omukaveera ke batambudde nako mulimu ekyokulya. Naye ku lw'embeera ebaddewo yaleetwa COVID, abo baklayenti baffe tebasobodde kukola emirimu gyabwe. Tusaba gavumenti ebayambe, eyingire mu nsonga zaabwe, eggulewo ebifo ebisanyukirwamu. Tusobola kuteekako standard operating procedure oba enkola enaagoba kano akawuka. Kawuka ka COVID ko tujja kukagoba kubanga ng'omukulembeze gwe yagamba nti basooka ne bamanya siriimu address yaayo ne bagigoba. Ndakana akawuka tumanyi kayingirira mu bifo ng'ennyindo, emimwa n'amaaso. So tusobola kuteekako embeera omuntu n'anywa omwenge gwe, omuntu n'anyeenya ku galiba enjole nga tasobodde kusaasaanya akawuka. Teri muntu ayagala kusaasaanya akawuka kubanga nawe kasobola kukuta. Naye bano tubalese mu mabega nnyo. Tusaba ekitongole ekirabirira COVID, Ministry of Health ne President, bano abantu bayambibwe, tugulewo ebifo bino. Tuyinza kukola trial ng'ey'omwezi gumu tulabe oba kisobose. Naye bwe kiba nga tekisobose, tusaba gavumenti eteekeko akasente akanayamba bano abantu ba DJ, ba owners, ba comedians, ba musicians, cleaners, waiters and waitresses, kubanga nabo balina obuvunaanyizibwa. Basobola kufa bwe banga tebafuna kasente ke baali bafuna nga bayita mu kukola emirimu gyabwe egy'ekiro. Ate ku nightlife industry waliwo kye tuyita auxiliary oba related service providers like hotel owners, the transporters and so many other key players that used to bring tourists and ne bafuula ekifo kyaffe e Uganda, Saabalungi Uganda yali efuuse Las Vegas eya Africa, nga buli omu agyenyumirizamu. Abantu batambula ne kati babuuza NIA mukola kikubanga Uganda yali esinga okusanyusa abantu mu nsi yonna, naye kati namwe musirise. Tuyinza kusetinga example ne tugulawo nightlife na countries endala mu Africa nazo ne zitulabirako ne zigula nightlife industry. Mwebalire ddala. Ebyokuwanga amalusu nga mutamidde, tuyinza kukola mask eziyina zipu. Bw'omala okunywa omwenge n'ogalawo n'oyogera nga towanga amalusu. Ate nga tulina supervisors mu bifo ebyo ebisanyukirwamu, ayita ku table n'agamba gwe ssebo oyogera naye olina kusiba zipa eyo ogiggulewo ng'ogenda kunywa n'oddamu n'ogigalawo. About the issue of spitting out saliva when some of our clients get drunk, we can be innovative, come up with opening masks, can put a zip upon consumption, you zip up and talk, such that the saliva does not spill over to any other person. Let's be innovative because COVID is likely to be here for a very long time. So instead of shutting up and people commit suicide because of not earning, let's be innovative and open up. You know, sometimes waliwo abaguddewo twayise members baffe abamu ne tusanga nga abaguddewo abamu ne batugamba kati okubeera ewaka nenfa lwakisijja wano ne bantwala mu kkomera awaliyo emmere. So baguddewo kubanga bamanyi bajja genda mu kkomera any minute, naye ekisinga kufiira ewaka awatali mmere wakira ogenda ekitalya kubanga waliyo akawunga. Yagulawo breweries zikola omwenge. Ekibuuzo kiri nti ogwo omwenge gugenda wa? Ogwo omwenge bagusupplyinga ku ba client baffe ne guba expired, kati bali mu mabanja gabatwala. So bwabanga bagulawo breweries, katugule ne chain eno ya night life players tugigulewo naye tulabe nti omwenge gwe guva mu kimu breweries ne basasula omusolo eggwanga ne redevelopinga nabana abagutunda n'abagunywa babakirize bagweyagaliremu. I think we are done. Thank you very much for coming. Please.
Sorry. Let me. You what? My name.
Spokesperson, eh? That's you are.
That is why. The Nimrod is actually the real name. We thought it was like a nick.
That's my real name.
Nimrod, thank you very much for coming around.
Kamina kubuza ngate mumbuza phone number and the name. Nimrod.